Hey, what's up you guys? This is Gabby and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to give some career advice to those who know for sure that they are interested in focusing on social work, but they may not be exactly sure what their niche is. So as we all know, social work is a pretty broad term. There's so many different directions you can go in the field. So if you're someone who is about to graduate from or start your program in social work, or someone who is about to take a career transition from another area to social work and you are interested in learning more about how to find your niche in the field, then this video is going to be for you. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Mind Your Society. Subscribe here and make sure you don't miss my future videos. On that note, let's just jump right into the video already. So you want to focus on social work. That's great. And I want to first say congratulations for coming this far and settling on the field of social work. If you are someone who is interested in the field, that shows that you have a great care and passion for helping people and for bettering our societies right now, as well as thinking about future generations. You are trying to be the change that you want to see in the world, and that's super awesome. So congratulations for landing on the field of social work. But now you want to really narrow the scope and figure out what population you want to work with, what area of social work is best for you, what type of environment you want to work in social work. So in this video, I am going to give you guys 8 things to think about and 8 areas to consider as you are working to find your niche in social work. So let's get into it. Number 1, discover what your needs are based on your passions, your morals, and just overall life vision, including certain monetary goals you may have as well. So I think it's really important for those who practice social work to ensure that they are also taken care of and that they are also tending to themselves, because you're going to have to give a lot of yourself in this field. That's just the nature of working with people and helping people to improve their lives. It's a lot of internal energy that you're going to be giving. So it's important for you to make sure that your own cup is filled. Take care of yourself and to consider yourself throughout your career as well. And that includes when you are first planning to jump into the social work career, like now when you're trying to find your niche. Think about, what you're naturally passionate about. What area have you always really loved or, really saw yourself working in? Sometimes people know from a very young age, or, what population really makes you feel alive when you're working with them, when you're around them. So really consider what your natural passions are and what areas you can see yourself working in, and also consider how much income you want to make in the future. Depending on everyone's unique situation, you may have different income goals. So for example, let's say you're someone who currently you're married and you and your spouse are maybe splitting both of your incomes down the middle, and you and your spouse is sharing the same income. Maybe you feel more secure working in an area in social work where you won't be paid that much because you are sharing income with your partner, your husband or your wife. Or maybe you're someone like me, you came from a more lower income background, so you have a lot of student loan debt and you wouldn't feel very secure working in an area where you would probably only be making $30,000 to $40,000 a year. This is something you really want to consider, because in order to really put your whole heart into it and to show up for your clients, you have to be working in an area where you feel you can take care of yourself. So I think that's something to consider as well. So really sit down and try to think about what your needs are, because you need to make sure that whatever niche you choose is something that can help you to fulfill your needs. Just really consider first and foremost what your own needs are, because if you aren't working in a niche where your own needs are being met, then you probably won't survive that long in that area of social work. Number 2, what sector or area in social work is thriving and growing? Yes, you may be passionate about a certain area, but is there growth projection in that area? Geriatric social work. That area is expected to grow faster than normal. And also, if you're interested in working with youth who have special needs or different learning plans, school social work would be how you could do that. And that area is also projected to grow. So you have to consider your passions as well as the in-demand areas of social work. If you're looking to stay in the same niche for at least the next several years, you probably want to choose one that is in demand so that you can have a job. All right, so number 3 thing to consider when you're trying to choose your niche in social work. Do you see yourself working one-on-one directly with people, or do you see yourself doing kind of what I do, which is more macro level social work? I do work directly with people from time to time, but overall I'm doing more of the project management and the admin and planning side of social work. So I do more planning programs and also working on the back end of connecting nonprofits to funding so they can continue doing the work that they're doing. So I don't really work directly with people as like a school social worker. So consider that too. Do you want to do more of the direct practice route, or are you more interested in macro social work? I think this really depends on your personality and your overall strengths and interests. If you are someone who really thrives on being around other people and you get bored when you're not around other people and you just love sharing that energy with people and helping people one-on-one, then you probably want to do more direct practice, maybe specialize in therapy, become a licensed clinical social worker. But if you're someone who like to kind of think about things analytically, you like to measure success from the back end or do research and create different programs that can benefit certain populations in need. You like to do more of the coordination around programs. You like to measure success around programs. That's something to consider as well. And if you are interested in learning more about macro social work, I do have videos about that, so definitely check those out. All right, so number 4, think about the type of population that you're passionate about. Some people are very passionate about youth. Some people are passionate about working with the elderly. Some people want to work with women who have been in abusive relationships. You may want to work with single fathers. You may want to work with prison inmates. You may want to work with kids who are in the adoption agency. Really consider that. What population of people or demographic of people have you helped or volunteered with in the past that has really helped you to feel alive and like you were living your purpose? And also, this may be connected to who you are as an individual as well, because a lot of people feel called to work with those who are struggling with certain issues that they may have struggled with in the past. Let's say you've struggled with some addiction issues in the past. You probably have found a way to overcome that, and now you want to work with a population of people who are struggling with addictive behaviors. So really sit down and think about the population you want to work with. And then after you do that, write down where these people may be and how you can connect with these people and work with these individuals. So if you want to work with youth, you probably need to work at a school or for a youth development program, or maybe in an adoption agency, a homeless shelter, etc. So really think about where groups of people from those demographics are and what agencies you probably want to aim for working in the future to best work with those individuals. Number 5, I think it's okay to not know exactly what population you want to work with right now. It's totally fine, and this is the case for a lot of people who are starting off in this career. So I think it's important to be open to experimenting and playing around to really see where you best fit. Volunteering can be a way to do this, whether it's a short-term or a long-term volunteer stint. Of course, doing internships or different fellowship programs, that's going to give you a taste for it as well. And also interviewing people who are doing what you want to do, reaching out to your network and seeing if they know someone who works in a certain area that may pique your interest. All of this is very important, and I encourage you to do this if you're in a situation where you're just not sure what next step is for you. It's totally okay to be in that situation, but sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. We may not be sure what area we want to work in, in the field of social work because we just haven't been exposed to that many areas. Definitely play around, explore, and try to connect with the people who are doing what you think you may want to do in social work. All right, number 6, consider the work environment that you want to work in. This is very important, and I think when you're considering what path you want to follow in social work, as I mentioned, you have to think about the population you want to work with and also consider where that population of people exists. And when you're doing this, really sit down and think, could I see myself working in that environment and going there day in and day out and being there 8 to 10 hours a day? It's really important for you to be in an environment where you feel comfortable and where you feel you can thrive. So right now I work in a traditional office environment. Some people may not feel they can thrive in that environment. They may want to work somewhere where they can be on the move, get their blood flowing and walk around a bit more. Or let's say you've kind of identified where the population that you want to serve is located, and mostly it's in a hospital. Okay, but pause. Maybe you've had a situation in the past that scarred you and made you hate hospitals. Every time you go in a hospital, you just freak out, you get anxiety ridden, and you just don't feel comfortable. Then maybe you kind of want to reevaluate the population you want to work with, or dig a little deeper and see if that population is somewhere else outside of a hospital. So, really consider the environment. Maybe you're someone who have always gotten energized by being in the education environment. If so, working in a school or working for a university is probably the best fit for you. So really consider what environments make you feel alive and where you can see yourself spending 8 to 10 hours a day in. You don't want to choose an area in social work and figure out, okay, if I want to work in that area, I'm going to have to spend time here where I really just don't want to be. So definitely make sure that's a part of your consideration process. All right, so number 7. What are you naturally good at? We talked about choosing something that you're passionate about, something that you deeply care about and feel that you can fulfill your life's mission doing. But also you have to consider what you're good at, whether that's training that you've had, skills that you've developed, and also just something that you kind of have a natural knack for. Maybe the idea of working with youth excite you, and the idea of helping to develop the future leaders of our country excite you, but you've noticed throughout the years that you just don't have a good knack at connecting with people who are younger than you, or they tend to annoy you, or maybe you rub them the wrong way. If that's the case, maybe you need to reconsider the population that you want to work with and the type of work that you want to do. Or you may consider doing more macro level social work where you can still support that population but in a more indirect way, such as by grant making or working in the foundation space or developing programs for these individuals as a program developer. So yes, whatever area you are considering, sit down and think about, if you have the proper skill set and know how to thrive in that certain area. And I'm not saying that these things can't be worked at and that you can't improve at these things over time, but you just have to consider how much effort it's going to take for you to develop and be prepared for this position. Because if it's too much of a stretch, it's probably something that is not a natural fit, and you probably will have to exert too much stress. There is a certain level where it's so unnatural to you that it's probably just not going to work in the long run. So definitely consider that. Number 8. This is my last piece of advice for this video, but it is important. Understand that you don't have to stay stuck in one area forever. Sometimes people freak out and they think they need to come up with the exact area of social work that they want to work in right now. I need to find my niche, I need to know before I graduate because I want to know where I'm going to spend my career. It's totally normal for people to pivot once they learn more about themselves, or once they've worked in a certain area for several years and been exposed to other areas. It's totally okay. It's not wrong to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. It doesn't mean you failed. It's nothing negative. So of course you want to sit down and think about, 1 through 7 points that I've made earlier and really consider where you see yourself thriving and providing the most value to people. But it's not the end of the world if you don't know now. Even if you jump into an area that you kind of like half feel you're good at, but you don't feel like 100% driven to be in that area or to be in that niche, it's okay. Just do it. Try it out and pivot if you need to later. Definitely do the work to try to figure out an area that you want to focus in for now. And when you choose that area, learn as much as you can about that area, but understand that you don't have to stay in it forever. It's totally okay to pivot your career and move in a different direction as you learn more about yourself and the field of social work in general. And also, if you are someone out there who is really struggling with figuring out the area of social work you want to go in, or really trying to decide how to choose a career path that will lead to happiness and the overall life that you want, then let me know. I do meet one-on-one with individuals sometimes to help them to clarify their thoughts and career and life goals. So if you're interested in that, please just let me know. You can reach out on my Instagram, or you can just let me know via email. I've always been passionate about helping to expose people to different career paths that I've been on and just showing people how I've been moving in my career, how I've been pivoting. I think I've reached the point to where I want to work more directly with people who are interested in doing the same thing, finding the career path that can make them feel alive and feel that they are doing their life's purpose. So definitely reach out if you are interested in learning more. On that note, I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope it gave you some tips and tricks and things to consider when you are trying to find your social work niche. If you have any comments or anything to add, please do so in the comment section below. Please give this video a thumbs up if it's helped you in any way, and make sure that you stay tuned for my future videos, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.